Guys, I'm so sorry I'm late. Oh my God. I've got a limp selfie stick. It's really annoying. You know, like those, I'm gonna have to just sit back a little bit. You know those selfie, like those tripods with like the wiry bit that you can move around and attach your phone to? Mine's all limp. It's like every time I move it out, it just like sags back down. I've got another one upstairs. I didn't have time to grab it because I was just getting out of a really, really lovely session with a lady that I was having hey Karina, hey Cara, hey Karen, having a discovery call with an amazing woman. And we got a little bit carried away chatting. So if you've been looking for me and going, where the fuck is she? I'm so sorry. I just couldn't end the chat before we were done. So who's there? Give me a hey. Hey Ola, hey Ian, how you doing? Angela, good evening. So get this, people. Let me just tell you this quickly while people are finding me and getting logged in. We have had the most amazing few weeks. I've just got to share with you what's been happening, and I'll get the training ready for tonight because it's important tonight, really important. So, update. We have found a Portuguese pad. So we were house shopping in Portugal over the weekend, and because I think some of you know this and have been following this, but massive passion that was just uncovered by accident has been for property and renovation. And James and I, the whole reason I run an online business initially started out because I wanted the freedom to travel and explore the world. And our business has given us that for the last, 5, 6, 7 years now. And we've visited some amazing locations. And it started off with just one project in Spain, Casa Eden. If you follow that retreat place, you'll know. And if not, go and follow that retreat place on Facebook and Instagram. But you'll know that we've spent the last year renovating this amazing property in Spain that we call Casa Eden because it's in the middle of nature, amazing. And we're going to be running retreats, and initially they were just for my clients. That was the vision. But we decided to open up Casa Eden for everybody that wants to experience it, which is really exciting. So coming really soon are dates that you can book, breaks, weekends, packages for Casa Eden. We've also then purchased a place in Mijas Pueblo, which is a really tiny Spanish like whitewashed village, cobbled streets, just amazing, which is going to be the hippie house, where people can book and make memories there. So that's really exciting. Think proper like boho vibes, sea view, amazing. Portugal has come off the back of our passion for wanting to travel but not knowing what's going to be happening in the short term. Like, are we going to be able to just get on a plane and go? Who knows? We love Portugal. We didn't really know where we wanted to be in Portugal, so we've stumbled across, let me know if you know it, it's called Quinta do Lago. Have a look at it online, Quinta do Lago. Oh my God, amazing. It's like the last house that we visited at the weekend. We were just about getting to a point where we were thinking, I don't think we're going to find anything this weekend. And then bam, last house that we went in, and it's just perfect. Overlooking a golf course, right by the sea. It's in like a gated community, Quinta do Lago. It's like a community within a community on the Algarve. It's very manicured and like, oh, it's lush. So that's really, really exciting. So it's all go, go, go. But for updates on the hippie house in Mijas Pueblo and Casa Eden and what's been happening there, and the sort of packages we're putting together for people, like the Goal Setters Retreat is the first one I've got my eye on, because I want to provide a space for people to come and set meaningful goals for 2021 and have that space to just really reflect, connecting with nature, connecting with their soul, and work out what is it that I want for next year and how am I going to get it, because it's really difficult to do when you're like putting the washing on, looking after the kids. So I want to give people a space to do that this year, ready for next year. So that's going to probably be the first thing that I'm going to be putting out there for you guys. So just keep your eye on that retreat place if you're excited to hear about that. But let's dive into tonight's topic of conversation, which is the 3 things that could be absolutely murdering your chances of success right now, and you might not even realise that you're engaging in these activities or falling victim to these things, because they're really common. They're things that I see over and over again in early stage entrepreneurs. And when I say early stage, I mean people that aren't yet at that, around that 10k a month mark. Baby businesses. I categorise businesses into 3 categories: business, baby business, adolescent business, and adult business, okay? So here's how you know what type of business you have right now. If you're a baby business, you're just getting it off the ground. You may be in idea phase. You may be somebody that's like got a few different ideas, not really committed to one yet, still throwing things around. You might even be at the point where you know what you're doing, you've got an idea, you've got an ideal client, you've got a service in mind, but you're not yet seeing a regular flow of clients. Not enough revenues going through your business for you to feel comfortable to call it your full-time gig, the thing that you can rely on it paying your bills from. An adolescent business is something you can rely on. It's consistently bringing in a 6-figure income. The processes, the policies, the strategies are in place to have consistent success. You know, you feel quite settled in your ability to know what you need to do every day to continue that success, and you're probably starting to leverage. You're probably starting to scale up and take yourself out a little bit of the tactical work, and you're more moving into like high level strategy and less low level doing, and more kind of eagle looking at everything and being the creator and the person that's kind of strategizing on how to improve things. The thing that you want to be doing, because you're the entrepreneur, right? You're the person that gets bored when things are the same all the time. You're the person that needs to be creating something new. You probably have shiny penny syndrome. You're the person that needs to be constantly progressing to feel fulfilled. And when you get to that adolescent business stage, you arrive at that place where you can step into that role more fully. So things start to feel really good. The adult business is the 7-figure business that's totally leveraged at this point. You're only doing the things that you love doing. The business grows year and year, whether you're working in it or not, because people are in the right place, systems are in the right place. There's multiple income streams, 7 income streams or more underneath the umbrella of that one brand. We're pulling back now to baby business, and that's where I want to focus today. So this is if you are between baby and adolescent, and you're somewhere between that beginning stage and that 10k a month consistent starting to leverage stage. There are 3 things that you might be falling victim to, probably are falling victim to right now, that is hindering your ability to get to that adolescent stage really quickly. And that's what I want to talk about tonight, because this is the most frustrating phase. It's the hardest phase. It's so hard. It's like chewing glass sometimes. It's so painful. It's as difficult as it gets. Now, just type in the chat box for me and let me know where you are. Just give me a one-liner. Are you idea phase? So are you like baby business, idea phase, just working out exactly what my business needs to look like? Are you in that like business plan, strategy phase where you're like brainstorming? Or do you have a solid business plan, but the actual execution of that plan hasn't been mastered yet? Or are you in the phase where you're executing the plan, but you're a bit stuck and you're not yet at that 10k a month mark? Or are you an adolescent business already and going to 7 figures? Comment, let me know. Kirsty, baby, idea. Cara, baby business just starting out. I know, it's so exciting it is. Who else would like to share where you're at? Baby phase, Kayla. Brilliant. Baby, started well but need to master and execute. Okay, yeah, awesome. Catherine, baby biz, executing stage. Rochelle, you're number 2. So your baby business that has a plan but you're executing it. Trying to sort execution and nervous to do it. Okay, idea, baby, just getting going. Okay, so all of you are where I thought you might be, and you're at that, you know, little baby business. It didn't come with a manual, did it? Adolescent phase. I know, Gillian Devine, kicking ass, lighting fires. on your way to Adolescent with bells on, might I add. Really nice to see you. Adolescent, Ola, awesome. Rochelle, business plan, but having a hard time executing. Okay, so I'll go back and read everything at the end. Let's dive in and talk about the things that might be happening right now. Even if you're adolescent, there could be some of these traits present, but it's unlikely that there's as much. When you're in the baby business phase and you go into adolescent, the best way for me to describe what this phase feels like and what it is like is likening it to the journey of a pilot getting his plane off the ground. Okay, so just bear with me, just listen to the analogy, and then I'll move into the mistakes that you might be making. And these are things that you're going to be able to go away and fix right away after tonight. So when a pilot's getting his plane off the ground, there's only one way to do it, right? Pedal to the metal. He needs to go full throttle, and he's got, from the time that he hits the gas, I'm sure these aren't technical pilot terms, by the way, but he's got from the time he hits the gas to the runway running out to get that plane off that freaking ground. And it's life or death, yeah? There's only one way to do that. Pedal to the metal. He doesn't expect to approach takeoff in the same way that he approaches cruising at 30,000 feet. Because cruising at 30,000 feet at adolescent stage or even adult stage is a very different energy, a very different level of exertion that is required at both of those different phases. You know, he can hit cruise control when he's up there, and the co-pilot is probably doing all the work, and he might be asleep, watching a film, reading a book. And I know that's true because I've got pilot friends that say to me that they've slept for most of the journey, and I'm like, holy shit, don't tell me that. I like to think the pilot's being vigilant at all times, but the reality is they don't need to be. And it's no different when you're building a business. There is a level of energy, dedication, commitment, speed of execution that is required at takeoff stage, at baby business stage, that is very different to cruise control stage when the plane's up there and we're flying. Adolescent stroke adult business stage. Very different. Here's what a lot of people do. They bump down the runway. They don't have the level of energy, action, and the things, the processes, you know, like imagine this pilot is pressing the right buttons, he's doing all his right checks, and then bam, he's off. They don't get their plane off the ground quick enough. So what happens is they bump down the runway. They put the foot on the gas a little bit and then they ease off and shit themselves a bit, and then fucking bang, they're back down. And it's painful. It's not only painful, it's dangerous. It's really dangerous because you run the risk of quitting. And that's the equivalent of just fucking crashing at the end of the runway and never getting out of that plane. You run the risk of quitting because you start to believe, I'm never going to get this fucking plane off the ground. And every bang back on the runway is so painful and hurts so much that you start to think, I don't even know if it's worth it. Do you know what? I don't even know if I want to fucking fly anymore. I'm just going to get out and walk. And that's why it's dangerous to bounce down the runway and not just get that plane off the ground as fast as you can. When I'm working with women, mentoring women, my goal for them is that we get that plane off the ground as fast as humanly possible, because it's either slow and painful or it's fast and painful. Choose your hard. But I tell you something, slow and painful is way harder. Either way, it's going to hurt a bit. Either way, it's going to take a level of energy that doesn't feel comfortable. But pick your fucking hard, because bouncing down that runway, crashing and burning constantly, starting from scratch, with your family and your friends watching on the sidelines going, is no fucking fun. No fun at all. So the faster the success, the more chance you've got of achieving all of your dreams and goals, because it feels worth it. It feels worth it. Even if you get the plane off the ground and you're only cruising at 10,000 feet, you're not quite at 30,000 feet, but you're at 10, and you're clearing the buildings and you've got a great view and you're like, all right, I'm doing it, I can go higher. That feels way better than bang, 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 bang down the wrong way. Way better. Here's how you might be crashing and burning, and here's why. Here's the 3 things you're probably doing if you feel like you're banging down that wrong way and you don't feel like you're gaining enough momentum and traction to actually do anything worthwhile and have a great view of the city. You know, if that's you, then these are the 3 things you're probably falling victim to right now, and you can change them tonight. But I need your commitment that you're gonna before I share them with you. So I want you to share in the chat box. I'm done with crashing and burning. Say it out loud. I am done with crashing and burning. Type it. Because that is your pledge that as of today, things are going to be different, because change does not take years. It happens in an instant of you deciding things are going to be different as of today. I'm going to commit on a level I never have before. I'm not just going to listen tonight, but I'm going to be different, because I'm going to do something different off the back of what's said tonight. Holly, high five to you. Bridget, let's go. I am so done. Sometimes it takes us to be done to have massive change. Cara, let's have it. Joanne, come on. Kerry, yes. Keep them coming, guys. Great rush out. I'm with you every step of the way. Joanne is on the runway. Ola, I'm done. Okay, let's go. We're all ready now, right? I'm done with crashing and burning, Shannon. Awesome. Okay, here's the 3 things I'm going to share with you. The first thing that leads to crashing and burning often is a lack of consistent daily action in the early days. Consistent daily action. Do not underestimate small actions consistently every single day. Great businesses aren't built on great, bold actions that happen once a month, once a week. They're based on small things every single day, small habits, small disciplines that make 100% of the difference, that seem so seemingly insignificant in that moment, that they're really easy to do, but they're so easy not to do. And this is why people don't do them consistently, because they tell themselves, it's okay if I don't post on social media today. It's all right if I don't tick that one thing off my to-do list today. If I don't go live for 1 week, no, nothing bad's going to happen. It's not going to make a massive difference. It's going to make all the difference. Because here's the thing. When you started a job, most of you, I'm guessing, are like me, and you weren't born into a family of business owners and entrepreneurs. If you were, fucking great for you. I wasn't. So everyone around me had jobs, and I went into a job. Now, if you cast your mind back to a job that you had, or a job that you might be in now, and go back to day 1 of that job, when you first started and you knew nothing about the role and everything felt overwhelming, you felt like you were never going to learn everything you needed to learn. You turn up on day 1, you butterflies in your stomach, you don't know anybody, everything's out of your comfort zone, you don't even know where the toilet is, you don't know where you're meant to sit and have your dinner or who you're going to sit with, and you feel all self-conscious like you did on your first day at school again, and you feel completely out your depth, right? But your boss tells you, and probably writes in a contract somewhere, that you are required to show up consistently every day for this job that's going to pay you every month. And he tells you what's expected of you. You're going to do this, 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 and this when you're here. And we expect to see these results. So you keep showing up, because if you don't, you're going to get sacked. And about 90 days into it, generally, suddenly you kind of look up and think, oh, I'm doing it. And this is now my comfort zone. I know where the toilet is, I know where to have my lunch, I'm doing my job. Because you've shown up consistently, you've got good enough quick. You've got good quick. It's become your comfort zone quick. You're getting results quick. And it feels like you've been doing it for years. In your business, there's no boss telling you you have to. There's nobody standing over you, creating the checklist, the parameters for how you need to work and holding you accountable for doing it. You have to do it. So it's too easy to not show up for yourself every single day. But why would you not show up for yourself more than you would show up for a boss? because that's the only way that you're going to get results. Momentum is what is needed to get that plane off the ground. If you're not visible enough consistently daily with the right message that your ideal client needs to hear, if you're not getting good at speaking your ideal client's language, hanging out in the places where they're hanging out online, saying the right things at the right time, communicating why you're the best person to help them, none of that happens on day one. Nobody gets fucking good at that shit in 1 week. Nobody. I don't care who you are. It takes effort, it takes time, it takes consistency for you to master your craft. But if you don't show up every day, you take a day off, it's like starting from scratch. That plane has just crashed because you've took your foot off. And now you've got to go back to the beginning of the runway and start again. And that stopping and starting is killing your business. So if you've got a list of things to do that you know you need to do every day and you're not doing them every day consistently, that's the first thing that you can commit to changing today. Point 2. You have to be prepared to make short-term sacrifice. I hate the word sacrifice. I don't even like using it, but I need to use it today to articulate this point really clearly. You've got to know what you're prepared to do and for how long to get that plane off the ground. Because there is going to come a point where you can cruise at altitude and do whatever the fuck you like with the time and energy that you've got. But right now, that plane needs you. That baby business needs you. Like all other babies that arrive in this world that need constant care and attention, or else they don't survive, your business is the same. So we can't have it all on day one. You know what I'm about, and I'm not about the hustle. If you followed me for even a few weeks, you'll know that by now. Can't bear the word hustle. I'm not going to say, work till you're bleary-eyed, do what most people aren't prepared to do to live a life most people will never have, and all of that shit. I've had mentors that have said that to me, and it made me burn out. It made me place enormous amounts of pressure on myself to live my life in a way that I didn't want to live it. And no success is worth that. However, there's no free lunch. There is just no free lunch. There's got to be, in the beginning, where you lack in skill and knowledge and experience, you've got to be prepared to trade off with something else. You've got to decide what that's going to be. And you might decide, okay, I'm going to sacrifice the gym. Let's say you go to the gym 5 times a week, I'm going to go 3. I'm going to not go out with friends every weekend because I'm going to give some of that time at the weekend to my business. Or I'm going to work evenings around the day job 5 days a week for the next 6 months. I'm prepared to do that for 6 months. Know what you're prepared to do and how long for, because there has to be short-term sacrifice, but there shouldn't be long-term sacrifice for a business. Because if it's long-term sacrifice, then the business plan's not right. It's not supporting your needs. And there's only so long you're going to put up with that before you resent it and you're going to want to unravel it. And it's not going to be sustainable success. But we've got to be realistic. What money are you prepared to sacrifice? Time and money, energy, all the other things. Work it out. There's nothing more frustrating to me when I speak to a woman that is really capable, has the great business idea, the intelligence, the know-how to create an incredible business and a huge impact in the world, but they've got an unrealistic expectation of what can be achieved with what they're prepared to put in. For example, I remember speaking, this is a good example. I was speaking to a woman the other day. She was an amazing woman, and I'm not knocking her at all, it's just where she's at, but I just want to give you an example so that you've got a bit of a mirror staring at you if this is you. She was awesome, so great, coach. Been a coach for a couple of years, done all of her coaching qualifications, so much to offer her clients. But she's not making anywhere near what she could be making money-wise. And she's exchanging time for money, so she has to be working to earn money. She's not got a passive income stream. and she's stuck. She's stuck at like 3-4 grand a month. She didn't give up employment to be self-employed for 3-4 grand a month. That wasn't the goal. The goal was time freedom. It was a lot of things, but it wasn't that. So to achieve it, something's got to change. She's got to know how to create a business plan that works, that doesn't see her exchanging time for money. She's got to know how to create passive income streams. She's got to know how to have a strategy and structure that brings in regular 10k months growth without her being busier and busier. She's got to learn all this. And you can't pluck it out of thin air. You've got to learn, you know. You can try and piece it together on your own if you want. Take the scenic route. She got on a call with me because she was like, no, I want to just learn from someone that's already done it, that knows. So we talked. And at the end of the call, she said, I'm not going to invest in support at the minute because I'd quite like to move house this year instead. And here's what I'm thinking. You don't want it as bad as you're saying you want it. Because when I wanted it bad, and I couldn't afford to invest in mentors, trainers, coaches, seminars, and it was either pay my bills or invest, I lived in a fucking caravan. I'm not saying you've got to move into a caravan, but that's what I did. That's how bad I wanted it. 5 years ago, I was living in a caravan, renting out my house so that someone else was paying my bills and I had minimal outgoings and I could invest in my knowledge and my business so that 5 years later, I've got property all over the place and I can live where I want and I can spend what I want. And I don't say it to impress you but to impress upon you that there needs to be a level of short-term sacrifice for long-term gain. You've got to know, what am I prepared to give up? What am I prepared to put on hold? What am I prepared to say no to so I can say yes to my long-term and mid-term goals? There's got to be some of that there. So that's point 2. Are you wanting it all today? Are you slapping entrepreneurship in the face, slapping your business in the face and disrespecting it by saying, I want you to just work for me and I don't want to be consistent and I don't want to sacrifice anything in the short term, but I want you to pay my bills every month. Why are you not paying my bills every month yet? Are you saying to this little baby that you've not nurtured and you've not invested time in and sacrificed for and been consistent with, you want it to just grow and just fend for itself? Now, it's not realistic. People spend years going to university to master their craft if they want to be a doctor, a lawyer, and other professions that pay good wages. Those doctors, lawyers, and all these other great professions that you might spend years at university for and get into thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds worth of debt before you even get the opportunity to earn a penny, they don't pay you anywhere near what your amazing business is going to pay you if you master becoming a high-level entrepreneur. Yet you slap it in the business every day and just expect it to. Why? Why'd you do that? Stop that. You've got to be realistic. If you want to be a high-level entrepreneur, you've got to master it. Just like you'd master being a doctor, solicitor, but the rewards are so much greater than that. But don't slap it in the face and expect too much from it without putting so much into it. And number 3, you have got to act like a high-level entrepreneur to have high-level results. You can't be moving deadlines and breaking commitments if you want to be a successful person. If you want to be in the tiny percent of people that make it, that live abundantly and create freedom for themselves and have an amazing impact in the world. Those people are high-level people. They have to be to have high-level results. That means for your results to be high, you've got to raise your standards. So I'm calling you out if you are somebody that sets a deadline to complete something and then moves it because you've done something else instead, or you haven't made room for it, or you haven't tried hard enough. I'm calling you out on that shit because you can't operate at that level and have results that are beyond that level. Because there's no synergy in that. If you're working with a coach, mentor, trainer, and you say, I'm going to have it done by this time and I'm going to have it to you for you to look at it, and then I'm going to be on my meeting with you on this day, and then you message them and say, can we move that because I didn't do it? Fuck no, we cannot move that. No. You show up. That's the standard of execution that I expect to operate on with the people that I mentor. and I hold them accountable to be that person every step of the way. If there's anybody on this call now that can say to me, they'll tell you, if they've worked with me and they've even tried to operate low level, they're called out on that shit straight away. Always with love, always with kindness, but always because I want the best for them. And sometimes I've got to tell you stuff that you don't want to hear and be a bit in your face. I'm not going to tell you that it's okay to act like that if you want this result, because it's not, and you won't get it. And I care enough about your results to be strong enough to put all of my shit to one side and risk upsetting you and you not liking me and not care so much in that moment, as long as you get results. Because I'm not here to be liked by you, to be your friend. I'm here to get results for you. And I know that that is going to mean you raising your standards in every area. So if I see low standards, I will call it out. But you need to be that person for you. If you've not got me in your corner right now, or someone like me in your corner doing that for you, you need to do that. You need to look at things honestly and go, that's shit. I've said I'd do that and I've not done it, and that's not okay. Because I'm holding a low standard for myself, so I'm always going to have low results. So just to recap, consistent daily action. Fuck me, do not bounce down the wrong way because you just don't show up for your business every day. If you show up for a job every day and you're not showing up for your business and it's still a side hustle, you need to give your head a wobble. Short-term sacrifice. What am I prepared to give up? How long for? And be a high-level entrepreneur by having high-level standards. Girl, getting spicy today. And that's me. So listen, if you know you need help with this stuff, if you know that you're not progressing quick enough down that runway and you are banging along and you're sick of banging along alone and you need and want somebody like me and my team in your corner that are going to help you guarantee those results, accelerate that success, get the plane off the ground quickly so it doesn't have to be slow and painful, then here's what you need to do. You need to DM me today saying, I'm ready to get help. Let's get this fucking plane off the ground. I will know what you mean. My team will know what you mean, and we'll tell you how to get on my calendar and have a free 1-hour call with me to talk about how I can support you. And if it's right for me to support you at this time. It might not be. It might be that we have a chat and I go, actually, I think there's some work to do before you're ready for this environment, because it's like a baptism of fire. And there's some work to do first so you can get the most out of it. It might be that we go, yes, the time is now, let's fucking have it, and let's get this plane off the ground by the end of the year, so that you can start 2021 going, yes, 2020 was amazing. You know, we did it. So DM me, tell me you'd like to have that call. My team or I, depending on who gets to you first, will ask you a few questions. These are qualifying questions to make sure that it's worth us jumping on a call and having this time. If we think it is, we'll invite you onto a call, and then we can explore in a little bit more detail. And it'll be great to get to know you and talk more. So many people watch and say to me when they get on the call, oh my God, I've watched for ages and I've thought I was scared to get on the call and I didn't know what you were going to say to me. Don't, honestly, I don't bite. Like, we'll have a giggle, we'll have a laugh. No matter what happens, you'll go away from that call better than you came on it. You know, whether mentorship's right for you or not, you will. So don't hesitate, don't shy away from it. Reach out today and let's talk. And thanks for listening. Lots of love.